Hello, everyone. This is Brother Benson, and I'm joined this evening with Makobura and Miguda. Uh, how are you doing, gentlemen?
Good evening. I'm doing good. Happy to join this evening, and I'm happy to see you, Brother Ben, and I'm happy to see Mr. Miguda.
Okay, thank you so much. Miguda, how about you?
I'm good. I'm still faring on very well as
Yes.
per the time goes on, and
Mm-hmm.
also I'm I'm appreciating the good Lord for the gift of life, and
Mm-hmm.
also I hope you two people are faring on as well.
Yes, we do. And to our viewers too, we hope and believe you are doing fine. This is Brother Benson Media, and as always, we usually discuss the issues that are in the public domain. To begin with, uh, Kangoka Jaramogi still is receiving quite a number of dignitaries and the lovers of the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga, who are still going to pay their last respect. So Kangoka Jaramogi is active, in extension also to Opoda Farm, where you go and visit Raila's homestead. So if you're still in mood, you can still organize and Makobura and go and pay your last respect to Baba at Bondo. I think the doors are still open, especially Kangoka Jaramogi. That is that. And another thing also, uh, we want to look at what happened in Kasipul Kabondo. Yesterday we talked about it, but like today, I was just looking at the videos and the people who have lost their lives, and you ask yourself, like, why are they killing their sons? The politics of violence and the politics of without policies, that how can we bend so low such that we kill our brothers just because of the politics? Maybe Miguda, you can weigh your thought as Makobura too can weigh his thoughts on Kasipul Kabonde, and what's the way forward? Until when are we going to experience such?
Kasipul Kabondo has been in the limelight. Remember, this was the first time we are hearing about Kasipul Kabondo on the issues of political violence.
Mhm.
There have been political violence for a quite long time. Even the late member of parliament, remember, actually, he was shot dead in a cold blood because of political expeditions. And remember also, even him, he was earlier accused of dealing with opponents ruthlessly. And there are people currently in that constituency who don't have their hands, their legs, some don't have their ears, some are now, some families are now left without the father or the mother, some have remained orphans. So it's something that has been there. And when two people who are in the forefront are battling out, these are how we need to survey the situation and sort it once and for all. But understand that mostly I had Aroko today. Aroko was very clear that they are in good terms with Governor Wanga. They do talk, they engage, but the difference is now the supporters. The supporters have taken it to be a do die, to be a personal between them. And remember, these supporters are the same people. The fact that you are aligned to someone's ideology doesn't make you now to be that person or
Yeah.
to be that caliber. Remember, at our caliber, we don't fit their caliber. And when you have aligned your thought to support that candidate, do not transfer your loyalty to an extent of taking away the life of your fellow constituents, like the case of Kasipul.
Yeah.
And Kasipul, the reason why I'm making my statement is because this is the first time we are witnessing violence. It's a norm in that constituency whereby people are used to violence. And as the people of that constituency, they should learn. We can't continue making the mistake as if you can't learn that this violence, they are resulting in death and people are losing their lives. Some families are remaining orphans, and it's now very difficult. If you are an orphan at a tender age, maybe your parents could educate you or give you a very basic education. But
Yeah.
the fact that your father or mother's life was taken due to political differences, it doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense. And now you are being brought as an orphan in the society. It's not easy. Makubura knows what I'm saying. It's not easy for an orphan to thrive in a society because there are many things you lack, even guidance from the parents. And we should always ensure that we don't engage into political violence. That's my view. So I think
All
we
right.
should stop it because even as things stand right now, there's still tension in that by election.
All right. Are you done, Mr. Migura?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done.
Okay, thank you so much. And I was just looking at it and saying that some of this, what is happening, even the killings and the violence that are happening, these are some of the things that can be prevented. They're not accidents. These are things that sometimes are meditated and are planned, at the expenses of somebody losing his father or her father. It doesn't matter whether you'll be on a Rocco side or you're on whose side. But at the end of the day, there are so many people who especially depend on somebody who have just lost their life. If somebody does not agree with you politically, uh, you know, um, there's no need for you to make sure that he loses his life. Yeah, that one does not even add value to that community. Furthermore, what you're doing, you're making your community to be more poorer because maybe the person who you've just killed um, could be a leader at some point, or could be having children who need to go to school, which you've talked about is that like in a society like an orphan, and there are so many orphans out there that, especially when it comes to meeting their responsibility like school fees, mothers who are widows, the society sometimes does not treat them well. They go through hardship, but now you find that you also end up killing somebody who is a breadwinner to that family or is a breadwinner to that mother. So I think like even the leaders, including both Rocco and Boyd Were, and even in their political circles and all that, I think it is high time that we run away from this politics of hooliganism, politics of violence. Ever since, I've never seen a county, I've never seen a country, I've never seen any place where violence thrives, that you can see or point touchable development. Where violence thrive will always be full of hate. Like right now, when you're talking about Kasipul, maybe even some people do not even fear, they fear even going out. They fear even to attend those rallies. They fear even to go and to vote that during voting because if I vote for so and so, somebody will say that and I will pay. So I think like it is that high time we came to our senses and decided to do politics of issues, not politics of uh, violence. Makobura.
Okay, thank you so much. First, I did I did give my take on this particular matter, but I'll repeat what I said for the record. one thing that uh, one thing that I want to speak about is today people are fighting for this position, member of parliament for Kasipul Kabondo. The question we are supposed to ask ourselves is that how did that seat became or came vacant? And of course, the answer is very clear that it came upon after the death of one member of parliament, um, Were Senior, who was the one occupying that particular seat. The other question you're supposed to ask ourselves is how did he die or what led to his death? And that is a question that we are supposed to ask ourselves because he died not in good circumstances. He was, of course, killed, and up to date, we've not really came to know who really killed the member of parliament. I think that should be enough for all those aspirants who are going for this particular seat to know
Yeah.
that the seat that they are fighting for came upon after unclear circumstances of the death of the member of parliament. And that alone should give them or should instill some discipline in them and actually awaken their human character so that they get to understand that politics is not all about, um, you know, politics should not bring about killing fellow humans or making their lives more hard or tough. It is so unfortunate that since the this particular seat fell vacant, we've had people beating each other, people fighting, we've seen people taken to hospital, we've seen properties destroyed. And the question we are asking is why is it that because of two or three people who are fighting for political position, the citizens are able to kill, the citizens are killing themselves, the citizens are destroying properties, the citizens are not living in peace? And that then brings the bigger question to the people of Kenya. Why is it that we've normalized or we've gotten to a point where nowadays we see these political seats as life and death? We fight for them like nothing else. We fight for them as if they're the only thing that if we get, then all our problems as human beings are sorted. I think we need to relook into our constitution, my take, and upon looking
Now,
at
Makobura, let me ask you, how can we relook in our constitution, yet we have laws that are governing, even the electoral laws that are governing? And
this is what I mean.
what constitution, what should we look at, especially if people are
This
committing these
this is
atrocities?
this is what I mean.
Yeah.
There's too much power that has been given to the political class. There's too much power that a member of parliament has to an extent that some of them would go killing even fellow Kenyan citizens. And I can give you several examples. Remember, towards the general election, that was 2022, there were quite a number of members of parliament on the campaign trail. They killed citizens on their way of, I mean, when they were doing their campaigns, and there's nothing that was done to them. Some of them were even appointed in big positions. And that is the question we are asking. Why is it that there is too much power that has been vested on the political class to an extent that they seem or look like power? I mean, the law is above, they're above the law. And that is the question that I'm trying to bring forth. It is not good, it is not right for us to say that we have a constitution that should be followed by all the citizens of the Republic of Kenya. But on the other hand, we are seeing a situation where the political class thinks and believes that they are above the law. Today, people are fighting to get political seats as a way of protecting themselves, as a way of getting over the law, as a way of course, of ensuring that their views are respected. And that is why you are seeing people are fighting for these political seats too. I mean, without care of what they're going to find on their way, they are able and willing to even kill so long as they get the political seats that they are looking for.
So let's say, for instance, that okay, now the political class, maybe they've decided to have or not obey the law, what laws can be put in place, especially when you look at our
One,
political, yeah,
one, one.
yeah.
The amount of money that is paid to the political class should be reduced.
How is that one
This
going
is the
to,
reason why.
why, how is that one going
This
to reduce the violence? Or
this is
how is
the
that one
reason
going
why.
to, uh,
This is the reason why. In Kenya, we've never had what we call professional respect uh, of the professionals. It
mhm,
is only in Kenya where we see people who have not even gone to school get into power, and they earn almost millions. And
mhm,
then you see lecturers moving on the street
mhm,
demanding for pay, going for more than 2 months without pay. And the members of parliament who have done really not so much to the people, members of parliament who at some point, not once, several times, the people have come out accusing them of not performing their work. They are being
mhm,
paid every day, given security and all those kind of things. The level of audacity that we are seeing in the political class is because they earn a lot of money, and that money in turn gives them more power. And that is why you see normal citizens are queuing or even able to fight just to ensure that they get closer to the political class, who are then misusing them by only giving them 50 bob. My understanding is Kenyan political class are the most paid in Africa, and the amount they're being paid should be reduced. That way, you'll not find people fighting death, I mean, life to death, just to secure a political seat. The reason why the people are fighting and are able to kill even those who are uh, serving in that particular seat just for them to get a chance is because they see that position, the people get a lot of money and they're looking for that money, and at the same time they're looking for more power. That is number one. Money should be reduced. And then power, my understanding, I feel that there's too much power again that has been given to the members of parliament in this manner. Not once, but several times. Even in the National Assembly, you've seen. You remember the other time when the Gen Zs went to the street, and the members of parliament were then giving their views on what they saw during the Gen Zs. Remember the audacity and lack of respect that they were using. I mean, when they were addressing the people of Kenya and the young people. And of course, some of them came with abusive languages. Some of them, even instead of regretting, I mean, instead of condoling with the family, they came out to say that it was a necessary thing.
mhm.
Those kind of things are there because there is too much power that has been given to these members, and they feel that they're above the law and they can do anything they want.
Okay, when Makobura, to me, I think like I might be having a different opinion, especially on you're looking at the member of parliament, even like looking at the constitution and reducing their money. That cannot stop violence, because when you look at the history of violence in the country, um, it, it, it it's it dates back way back, even during Moi's time. But when you look at during Moi times to where we are until today, there are so many amendments. And when you look at even the 2010 constitution that we have, you know, as outlined, and you look at the election, what are the election laws? What are you required? The thing that should be done is by holding these people accountable. Everybody who is doing, making uh, the legal system to work, especially even not the legal system, but the apparatus, the law enforcement. You know, when the law enforcement, if such like an event or such like an incident occurs, the law enforcement should come in, do an investigation, and find out and make sure that the perpetrators are brought to book. You know, if the law enforcement are not doing what is required of them, then it is not going to happen when you change those laws. Yeah. So provided that people can be people who respect the law, and the law enforcement come in and carry out investigation. Because if, for instance, what happened in Kasipul Kabondo, at least today, if in a working society whereby everybody is held accountable, or everybody is held accountable in every job that they does, we could have seen today maybe the county commissioner of Homa Bay, or somebody who is in charge around that area, or a sub county, to come up with a press and actually explain to the public what happened. Even if they go and report the matter to the police, it is still the obligation of the law enforcement to carry out investigation and find out who was wrong in this particular area. Because if you listen to what the Aroko team is saying, is everybody's not taking responsibility. Say that they're talking about each other. But if the law enforcement that are mandated to come up to do investigation could come, because like the law enforcement will be neutral, because they want to find out the actual who really committed these atrocities, or who really did commit and kill this the deaths that we are seeing, or the injuries that we saw. Then from there, they will give a statement and we will see arrest, which has not happened. So to me, I might be not right, but I think like even if you reduce the money, but all also depends with the law enforcement. And maybe Miguda, maybe if you can weigh your thought before we go to the main discussion then. Maybe do you think by changing the law can reduce, or by reducing the money that the politicians are having, can reduce the violence that we see, political violence?
Maybe not, maybe, because there are some people who view those positions to be lucrative, that
Mm,
once they are elected, they form part of the elites. So they
yeah.
are striving to be members of the elites, and they view that with the lucrative positions, the what we call salaries, the allowances, and also the class association,
Mhm,
can make them to an extent of doing anything humanly possible to go to those positions. So
mhm,
some people, it can be due to the fact that the elite composition, they want to join, they have that pressure of being part of the elites. Now they can do anything humanly possible to get to those positions. At the same
yeah.
time, you find out that there are some laws that are into place that are working actually to
Mhm,
ensure that people get to those positions. But all in all, the issue of violence, we can't say that there are some specific constituency, because if it's a matter of those lucrative positions, but we have 290 constituencies, why is it that Kasipul Kabondo, why is that it has been there for a quite long? So it means it's maybe a norm, what I said earlier, a norm in that constituency, that they viewed that the position of the constituency boss is such a position that when you get it, you're gonna be the superhero of that region. So people tend, the problem is here with the support base, whereby most of the people who are losing their lives, of course, even the leaders have lost their lives, but currently the people who have been losing their lives during the election period are supporters. Remember, there are some cases whereby people are also nursing injuries in those hospitals. So I can just say maybe there's a norm in certain constituency, or there's how some supporters view, maybe, or it can be a norm, a culture whereby a leader has made it possible for the followers that whenever he's in the position, he knows how he looks after the followers. Maybe there are some people who are on payroll, like I tell you, the issue of CDF. The
mhm,
issue of CDF, Raila was very straight about, because we find that our MPs actually, they have turned CDF money to salary to certain members of the constituency. People are being paid 10,000 every month, and they depend on that. That's why they were not ready to hand over the CDF kitty, because there are no development in their constituency. but they are maintaining their support base. They are maintaining their followers by ensuring that each and every month they get 10,000 as a salary. So the people who are not employed, people who are not working anywhere, but they are sure that by us being the full soldiers of certain person, we are going to be given 10Ks up to the the fifth year. And if that person died in the case of Ongondowere, the people who have been benefiting in that CDF kitty are not ready to let it go to other person because they know very well once another person has taken office, they will lose their 10Ks or 15. Some are getting even 15 per month. So I can just say, how do you create relationship with your followers? How do you maintain your followers? So it was that you find that there are some people who, and even that's even what's happening right now into Mark Obura's constituency back at home. There are people who have been paying, they are used to the current MP. And when the current MP want to move to governor, now they are like, they are going to be orphans. They just want their person. The person who can take care of their interests. So I can just say, how a leader handles the constituents is very much important. You don't need to make them feel like without you, they are they are dead. So it should be a service. You should be servant whereby you take care of everybody. And that's why right now, what's happening at Kasipul, the people who are aligned to Ongondo Were Jr. view it that when Ongondo Were Jr. will be declared as the Kasipul MP, the status quo will retain. But Aroko is a threat to status quo. Now they don't want, and also the people who are pro Aroko, they understand what the status quo has been enjoying. Now they want to get there and kicked out those people so that they can have Aroko, so that they can be a continuation. That's why Raila was talking about the CDF. The reason of CDF, not that it was hitting every, because they understand that this is how they are maintaining their followers. There are some people who they go to their constituency every month, but you cannot get en route into those constituency while they are still serving as member of parliament. To me, I can just say, other than what Makubura has talked about, the payment, the salary of the MPs, which should reduce. Of course, to certain people, it works for them. And also, this how these followers are being maintained. And any attempt to threaten the status quo will be met with the full wrath of the force. That's what happened to Atkasipul Kabondo.
Okay, now let me ask you, for instance, uh, uh, let's say that I'm a member of parliament, and if I'm a member of parliament, I have people that are in my payroll, and I just have to make sure that these people are served. Do you feel that in any way, if what I'm earning, especially from the exchequer, is reduced, it can at least reduce the violence, bearing in mind that some of these leaders, even before they go to those seats, especially, they have business as empire whereby they are withdrawing their money.
Yeah, I got your point. But the point is, you find out that when I'm elected as member of parliament in my constituency, and my salary as member of parliament is 1,000,000 shillings, then I'm being given 100 million for CDF every year. I'll be content with my salary, but I'll use my 100 million per year to divide to my followers for the entire year per month. And then when that one is happening, me, I'm speaking from a point whereby someone told me that the problem here is CDF. This is what people are fighting. Because the CDF committee have a channel of how they understand these are our followers, let's maintain them for the entire period we are serving. And if you scraped away my million salary shillings, maybe to 300 shillings, 300,000 shillings, then you scraped away CDF from my kitty. I'll have no business maintaining my supporters because, after all, I have nothing to give you. And after all, I can do better in business. I don't need to go to parliament. You understand? Because why should I be in parliament and I'm making more than 300,000 every month in my business, and it may be allowances. So people, it will attract. I think it will attract those who are ready to serve. It will not attract those people who are going there just to make money, to make deals, and those people are going there for fame and also to have a name. It will attract those people who actually want to serve the people, irrespective of salary, because you have nothing to maintain your followers. You have nothing to prove to the people. What you have is 300 shillings, and it can only cater for you and your family. So you just work, you go there, you represent your constituents, you legislate, and you also oversight at the national government. So when people deem it that, according to your tenure, you have represented them without failure, you have actually legislated by introducing bills in the House, maybe
Yeah.
amendments, and also they have seen you debating. At the same time, they have seen you oppose to bad governance. People will re-elect you back. I think that's how it should be.
Okay. To me, this is how I think. Um, I think that the people who should make sure that we do not engage ourselves in violence or create or injure people, you know, are the law enforcement. And the reason why I'm saying that they're the law enforcement, because they're the people who are given the power by the Constitution to create law and order. In incidences of what has happened, especially to be precise about what is happening in Kasipol, it is not new of what is happening. This is something that have happened for quite some time. Even you saw some videos were uh, some video was sent during the time when we were mourning, people were mourning on Ngondowere. Some videos of how people really met their deaths. Some people had injuries and deep cuts because of just political violence. But if the law enforcement that are given the mandate by the Constitution to carry out investigation and make sure that those who are involved are charged in the courts of law, and if they're charged in the courts of law and be responsible for their actions, then I feel such like will not happen, because you will know that if I engage myself in such acts, I will face the law, you know. But if it happens like this and it's just something that is being talked about, but no action that is taken, then it becomes a norm, the way it has become a norm, especially in that constituency. But it's not in that constituency alone. Even if you look at, uh, for instance, look at even Migori County, we've seen incidences of political violence, not once, not twice, but several occasions. And remember, it is not only those who are vying for political office in the county assemblies. It is, I mean, it is county assembly, it is the parliamentary, it is also the governor seat. In majority of what is you look at this, you usually see them on the internet of what has happened, especially for the young people. So if we had if law enforcement can take action, especially, and make sure that the perpetrators are brought to book, then that will be okay. Because, like, even if you look at the letter that was done by Her Excellency Governor Wanga, she was calling upon the security agencies to carry out investigation and make sure that those who are perpetrators of that act should face the law. So I think, despite all that Makobura mentioned, like it reducing their salary, but the major one, the pillar, is facing the law. And how do they face the law? By agencies that are mandated by the Constitution to carry out investigation and find out who really performed this and what is the next course of action. I think that one would work best. That is what I think, Makobura.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to remember the politics of Kasipul, and then I saw I'm trying to connect with what I saw in Poda, when majority of Kenyans from all political walks are going to Opoda to give the last respect to one Baba Raila Odinga. And what then came into my mind is that if Baba was around, I don't know whether kuna shida gani najisikia. Yeah, so
Unajisikia kwa studio?
I think it's on your side that it's reflecting back. I don't know why, but it's iko sawa sasa.
Let me mute
Yeah.
myself.
I remember when the member of parliament died, and when the reaction of Baba, I was really shocked. And I remember his comments. And even later on, he said that even if it is politics, do not go to an extent of killing fellow Kenyan or killing an opponent or such kind of things. The politics of Lowland are really going to change unless the people of Lowland themselves comes back to their mind and acknowledges the fact that unity is the only way. If they don't acknowledge the fact that unity and respect of fellow humans is the only way, then it's not going to be easy, because saizi hakuna ile mtu anaweza wa in Luo they say ngamanya log gayogi. I don't know how that is translated to English. But if it has started in Kasipul and it's being seen as a normal thing, I'm asking myself if it's going to continue or it's going to itaongezeka. I'm seeing a possibility of it kuongezeka, because currently we have people who are now coming out and in their own thinking, their own political thinking, they think that sahi sasa uwanja imetubakia and we are all equal. And the politics which is being played in Kasipul, it is not a good reflection of what really Luo Nyanza, the politics of Luo Nyanza, the way it has been played. And of course, it is upon the governor, and not just the governor, of course, with the leadership of Luo Nyanza, to sit down and come up with, an amicable way of solving the problem that is currently going on in that particular constituency. I can tell you it's not the first time. I remember those days when Oyugi Magwanga was still the member of parliament, when the late Ongondo Were was also seeking for that particular seat. People died. I can tell you people died. There was a lot of destruction of properties. There was a lot of killing and people being maimed. I can tell you there's so many people in Kasipul who have who are paralyzed in one way or another, who are having problems. And especially majority of them are young youths, courtesy of politics, bad politics that is being played there. It came from the previous, went to the Ongondo regime, and now this other regime that is coming in. Remember, it's going to be a regime that is going to do worse, because some of them will be doing it out of hatred, out of discomfort, out of show of power. And that is why I'm still insisting it is not right that it is allowed. It cannot be solved by the IEBC, I can tell you. IBC has failed not once but several times. IBC has not performed their duties as per what is stipulated in the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya. And that is one thing we have to accept. Not once, but several times. We've never seen IEBC even stopping certain leaders who are, with even those who have done serious problems to the people. We've never seen them. We've seen people accused of killing being cleared by IEBC to go run. You know, IEBC cannot do it. But again, we have to remind them that they have a role, and the Constitution is, of course, clear on that. So it's upon them and the relevant authorities, different departments, as per the roles given to them in the Constitution of promulgated Constitution 2010, to perform their duties and ensure that the lives of the people of Kasipul is at peace, and that because if we continue this way, politics, people might even start getting, having interest or getting to know whether the political seats are going to help them or not. If the only thing they're seeing is people being killed, people, going through difficult times. So that is what I wanted to say. But it's a wake up call to the people of Luo Nyanza that they have to shun and stay away from politics of killing each other, politics of making them more poorer. I can tell you the level of poverty that has increased in that particular constituency just because of mere political theatrics and political, you know, it is not good. They have to shape up and mature up and get to know that politics is not everything, and let them not fight for people who will not fight for them, who will not provide for their families. You are muted.
Thank you so much, Marco Bura, for that. And you remember yesterday also, I think yesterday, or if not yesterday, a day after yesterday, before yesterday, Mama Ida spoke about um, the politics, especially with the voters. Sometimes it narrows down to the voters. Sometimes just stay home, wait for that time, go and vote whoever you want to vote, because sometimes you might go that you are going to listen to, or you're going to attend these rallies and get to know what this particular candidate is offering, but before you know it, um, people just invade your rally where you are, and you innocently, who went just to listen to one of your leaders, you end up losing your life, and your kids and your family are just left with nobody to take care of them. So, and Makobura, as you also said, I think like it is high time, they can also even look at their history in terms of how violent they have been in that particular constituency when they are in election period, or like right now. Apart from that violence, what else have they achieved? So it also takes a responsibility of those who are vying for that particular seat. They are the people who to bring order, because those are their supporters. Let them talk to their supporters. Let them um, advise them on what should be done. Because at the end of the day, you are brothers, um, from the same community, from the same village. Why would you do that? And what achievement would you gain, or what are you going to gain by just making sure that uh, your fellow village men or your fellow countrymen lose their life just because of a mere political leader who is just vying for um, a position? Then from there, he gets his position, he will be going back to his house. That is will be the end of everything. So I think like it is high time, even as voters also, and even the religious leaders, everybody. It is something that now everybody should take note of, and create awareness, because they're losing lives. hata sahizi Kasipul pale ni kuna Rabuan. Si hizo energy ambao wanafanya ya kuona watafute njia mzuri ya kutafuta watengeneze kitu ambao wale ambao wanalima Rabon wapate biashara mzuri. So that is something that the leaders coming from those areas, I think they should take up responsibility and make sure that everybody, Kasipulians, are safe with all the candidates, not only with one candidate. We are not advocating for any candidates, but we are advocating for Kenyan people who are losing their lives and in the hands of politicians who are competing to get an office, which is not good. Thank you so much, Makobura. And this good friend of ours from Facebook, he has just shared with me some photos, especially from Kasipul Kabondo. Even though they are very graphic, but I can see them. I tell you, it is worse. So thank you so much also for being part of the team by sharing us the evidence. So we are not just talking of things that we don't know, but we are talking about the deaths that there are photos that suggest the same. Thank you so much once again. Makobura and Migoda, let's at least switch gears and at least focus on the grave of Baba. You know, when you look at the grave of Baba, there's a power in that grave. And there's so many people who are visiting the grave. One, they're visiting because the power rests there. That is one angle I can look at it. Two, there are those who are visiting this grave, especially to also get power. I would call it a political holy shrine. You know, when you look at during the old days, especially the how the people used to go for shrine, especially for cleansing. So I would say that the graveyard or the gravesite of Raila Molodinga or the gravesite where Raila was laid to rest is a political holy shrine where majority of politicians, not even politicians, everybody, including those who did not say good things about him, are visiting that. So it's a center of power. Remember also, the majority of people who are visiting the gravesite of Raila Molodinga, there are those who did not agree with him and talked ill about him, and that one made them to get their seats. They are also visiting. Today, I was just listening to one of the MCA from Nairobi, and he said something that nobody did not pay attention to. He said that he got his seat. The reason why he won the seat that he has currently is because he did not sell Baba. And the reason he was doing that because the circumstances were forcing him to do that. But inwardly, he loved Baba. But for him to get that seat, that is the route he had to choose. So it tells you that that grave is a grave with power in it. And it's going to shape the election of 2027. I bet and I assure you today, majority of those who are going to run in the ticket of ODM, in their banners, the image of the late Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga will be part of their campaign. And that one will make some of the followers to make decision to vote for them. So that is where we want to take this conversation. Maybe if I would invite Migoda to look at it and say that how that gravesite is so powerful that it's being visited every day. If you look at the population or the people, dignitaries, who you can see on the TV, but they are the locals, those who can only capture it on their phones that you don't see. So it tells you that how power has rested in that place. It's a political shrine of power, and it's so much holy, especially for the politicians, Mr. Migoda.
Hey, that's technical. You understand that we have been in this world. When we came, we find out that Raila was already there, and currently, as things are unfolding, it is the most visited grave in the current generation. Reason is before I went to the issue of the grave, the Raila phobia and Raila mania. Raila, you have two options: either love him or hate him. So if you hate him, you must hate him and express it that you and you will be elected in certain areas. And if you love him, you must love him and express it. Then you're gonna be elected in his political dominance. So that was a Raila for you. And Raila, to that extent, the power rests with him in that grave. And you understand, even we have seen people like Abraham. There was Abraham's grave, David's graves, even the Buddha's grave, and also the Muhammad grave. And there is only one grave in this world, the Christ tomb, which is empty because Christ resurrected and went to heaven. So it is the only empty grave, but still powerful. It's an empty and powerful grave. But Raila's grave is not empty because the flesh and the remains are resting there. And it's very powerful because we are in a situation whereby, as a country, we are approaching our elections almost, but it's still a bit far, 2027. But it's a defining election in the country because Raila already was creating that power bargaining moment whereby he said, we are with Ruto up to 2027 and we don't know what will happen. We must live between now and 2027. So people are anticipating, Baba, what will you say next? But he died without saying that. So we are still with those words that, who told you? Don't commit the party. So in that power bargaining moment, so Raila died unpredictable. Nobody knew the next step. As always, nobody could tell what he could say. And even people were saying that even at the last moment you are taking tea and you are going to call the press, even at the press, even after you have lined up the team, you will only hear for the first time the statement from Raila when Dennis Onyango communication, I think communication director could give him the speech to read. So nobody will tell. Even the people who have worked close to him, people like Jagakib have confessed that no one in the team could tell what he was going to say. Even when people are going for the political rally, you could have make meetings. Then the first time he's speaking at the rally, that's the first time everybody will hear from him. So that was his secret card politically. And up to now, nobody knew what he was going to say in the forthcoming election. So it's a matter of trial and error, and people must visit that grave every. And me, I thought maybe by December will be done, but you have heard Haidad said that beyond December she will still receive guests. So it's like there is a center of power resting at Kanka Jaramogi and also Opada Farm. But remember, at Kanka Jaramogi, there are two significant leaders resting right now. That is also the grave of the first vice president, Jaramogi Odinga. Very significant. And also the son, Fidel, body is also resting there. And right now, the remains of Baba are resting there. So it means that the people who have shaped Kenyan history, the people who have ensured that we are where we are, they have been part and parcel. And it's a coincidence that a father and a son shared a very elaborate history. Remember, Jaramogi was opposition leader and also wanted the best for this country. Vis-a-vis Raila Odinga has also wanted the best for this country. So you understand that at that juncture, many Kenyans are going there in large numbers to understand the historic perspective of these two gentlemen, and you know how did it comes to be as historians, as Kenyans. That's why you have seen the people who are elected opposing Baba, spreading lies, spreading falsehood, like the Mganga, Mchawi, Mtokindawili, are now embracing him at his death. But we have talked of something that is very significant, that you will find out the coming election, members of parliament or other elected position, they will put the picture of Raila into their banner. And reason is the center of power is resting at Opoda, at Kanko Jaramogi. And Raila is powerful even in his death. And you have talked about the followers of Raila Odinga. Remember, these people were following Raila Odinga. They were not following Chama or anybody. So if you can give Raila respect by putting his photos in your banner or posters while he's lying in the grave, that to them, you'll show them respect, those followers. You resonate with them. Say, oh, this you even respect Baba at his grave. And you know, there's a certain narrative now going on that Baba must be respected dead or alive. So if that narrative sells, they will say Baba, and they will also say you disrespected Baba when he was alive. There's no way you are going to respect him at his grave. He must be respected, dead or alive. So that slogan alone resonates so well with Baba's fanatic supporters. And that's fanatic base, remember, it is a consequence of each and everybody. They are elites, they are middle class, they are low class, they are professions, they are unprofessionals, they are those people working formal sectors, they are people working in formal sectors. It consists of border, mama mboga, matatus. So it's everybody. It's a composition of everyone in society. And when you resonate so well with them, that even at his death, you respect him and you honor him. Remember, even, me, I was trying to look at it in the case of Tanzania, and also I went to Accra, Ghana. I also went to South Africa. Remember, there's people in Accra, Ghana, actually, if you can appreciate Kwame Nkrumah and follow Kwame Nkrumah footsteps, that's a step to you to go to the parliament. And even in South Africa, if you can preach the philosophies of Mandela, people will view as one of them and can elect you. And even in Senegal, if you follow the footsteps of Leopold Sedar Songo, people are going to elect you. And even Tanzania, if you are preaching the gospel of Mwalimu Julius Nyerere, people are going to resonate so well. So these are Africans icons. In East Africa here, we have Raila Odinga. It will never be erased forever. Raila Odinga will live forever in the hearts of Kenyan people. That's what I can attest to you. As we never saw Kwame Nkrumah, but today, when we talk about Ghana history, we must first remember Kwame Nkrumah and the Senegal Leopold Sedar Songo. South Africa, Mandela is our hero, even here in Kenya. Raila Odinga will live forever in the hearts of Kenyans, so long as you are in this country, so long as you are in Africa. I think that there are people who are living beyond their grave. And even in the history, if you look people like John F. Kennedy, Martin Luther King Jr., people still remember them to date. And it is not easy for people to ignore Raila right now because it is fresh in their minds. And when we are approaching elections, it will play a very vital role for, and remember, even Gashagwa, the perceived opposition kingpin or leader, has been very careful since Raila passed away with how he talks. He said that, I admire Raila. I admire you, Mzee. You soldier. So you understand these things. People now, everybody admiring Raila. People are saying, oh, Achana Mzee. And even you saw the way Kaiga was taken by when he spoke. People like you saw Mukunji from Embu came and also made a statement. And we have seen also each and every community, or let me say each and every tribe in this country, want to associate with the cultural practices of the Luo community. You saw Masai going there, Teso going there, and Jurin Cheke going there. You saw the Turkanas going there. So they want to associate the connectivity of their culture with the Luo culture. Even the Kambas, when they were there with their elders, they want to connect it so that they resonate so well with the fanatic base of Raila that even at your lowest moment, we were there with you people as a Kenyan people. So anytime there is any community who want to associate politically, they will get a soft landing because they were there when their great person had passed on. So I think it's very important to understand that going forward, the center of power has been established at Opoda. And to that extent, Mama Ida has been elevated to a very significant role in this country. Because you understand, from Kanka Jaramogi, you move to Opoda Farm. And for Opoda Farm, your host is Mama Ida. And Mama Ida might get along so well with the Kenyan people going forward. And the
All right.
much respect.
Oh, okay. There's also something that maybe I would put because I was just having a conversation with somebody, and he was telling me that there are I would say the two category of those who are visiting Kangoka Jaramogi. One, there's category like me and you who would just go lay flower. I said it when we were starting, and would not meet Mama Ida, you know. But like if you want to come to Kangoka Jaramogi and meet Mama Ida, I think now you have to make sure that you let Mama Ida know so that you can be put into the itinerary, or you can be put into the list, because you find that people come at Kangoka Jaramogi and they sit there for a while, especially the guest of Mama Ida. Then after laying the flowers and paying the last respect, people are headed to Opoda Farm. That is Mama Ida's, where the Right Honorable Prime Minister home is at, you know. So, so even if you look at it, I was just looking. One of my friends, I told you, he was there today, and we did not see him on TV, or we did not see him greeting Mama. But when you go to his platform, he was there. So, you know, so which means Mama Ida is connecting with a lot of dignitaries when they come. And as you said, Mr. Meguda, this one is going to elevate Mama Ida, especially to play a major role into Kenyan politics. And you can just see it even today. Today, I would say, like today also I saw Mama Ida smiling. You know, for quite some time it was very hard for you to see Mama Ida smile. I saw it when His Excellency Kalonzo visited, and today with Peter Salasia. You know, Peter Salasia is one of those members of parliament who like to bring in comedy. You see, wherever they are, he was telling Mama Ida that he need a wife, and Mama Ida, you know, in the process, Mama Ida was laughing because he cracked some jokes there, and it was very nice to see Mama Ida smiling. Makobura, let me come to you. When you look at the visits, visits that are taking place at Kangoka Jaramogi, then later proceed to Opoda Farm, especially with the dignitaries and the politicians, let to say, do you feel they are using this to get the political blessings for their 2027 polls, or they are doing this just to pay respect for the somebody whom they loved?
Okay, this is my take. If you ask me, I'll say that it is, the reality is dawning, or it's getting into the people. It is now that people are really realizing that Raila has truly gone, and they are recognizing the many good things that he did, starting from the the constitution, fighting for the freedoms and the rights of the people, devolution, among others. You know, those who used Raila's name in a negative way, it wasn't that they were, using it as I mean, as an scapegoat.
Yeah.
It is only that there has been or there was a problem between, as you understand, the early political leaders. That was the first president of the Republic of Kenya and the deputy, and that was taken far much in other generation, and that is what was being played. And again, you've heard not once but several times Honorable Martha Karua, not just Martha Karua, giving an explanation on what truly happened between um, the first president and the second, and the first the deputy, and the differences that they had, and all the oaths that were taken. If you are a believer, you understand the fact that there are some oaths that, when taken, as much as we may see them as normal things, but spiritually they do come with so many effects, and that is what was being on the play.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, Raila was a direct contact or a direct blood of the first deputy president or the vice president. Let me use that. Let me say so. And that is what we were seeing. Based on that, those other bad spirit that was sworn and even blood was shed as a way of conferring or emphasizing
Mm-hmm.
the differences which were there. To me, I can say those are the things that were still playing, and partly the people who are playing it were playing it as a way of still acknowledging the fact that there were some oaths which were taken. And that is why you saw a group of people or people coming from a certain community were not really okay with Raila, and whenever they would use his name, they would automatically be elected in their political quest. But again, one thing that they know and they understand is that Raila was a human. Remember, there's a group of people who really believed that Raila was not a human being, that he was something else that was not really human. But above all, they would gather and have that negativity when they were looking for political seats. But in reality, when everything dawns on them, they understand the fact that Raila was a human being, a good hearted man who, in one way or another, used the opportunity that he was given by God to do what he did. And that is why you're seeing a massive number of people coming, even those who are on the other side of politics. They're simply acknowledging the fact that Raila played a role in the Republic of Kenya, a big role. Courtesy of Raila, we have quite a number of people who are even governors, MCAs, senators, women rep, and they understand that the person who really fought for all this is Raila Amolo Odinga. And that is why, as much as they have their own political way, they still understood and acknowledged Raila Amolo Odinga. We are still going to see people going to Kangoka Jaramogi
Mm-hmm.
to pay the last respect to Raila Amolo Odinga, and specifically at the graveside. It is a sign of honor. It is a sign of giving their last respect. But again, it is also a sign, you know, when Raila was still living, there is a group of people who really never had the opportunity to get closer to him.
Yeah.
But maybe at his I mean, at his graveside, they will get the opportunity. And when people go to the graveside, you never know what is in their heart. They will pour it at that particular point. So,
For,
if you know, you know.
yeah, okay, and maybe it maybe Miguda, I just want to know your view, because remember, majority of the times, you find that people are talking about succession, especially who will inherit um, the Baba, talking about of the Luo kingpin, and even you've seen how the politics play around, especially looking at ODM, and we're bringing in the likes of Babu Owino, who were seen as the heir, especially of Right Honorable Prime Minister strong base, including President William Ruto. Do you see that one happening so easily, based to the fact that how people are visiting, people are attached to Raila even in his death than even those who are living.
I can just say, according to the customs of the Luo people,
Mhm.
we have only a leader. We have one leader at a time, and there can never be two. And even from the history, not we go far, just when we had Gor Mahia led to a certain time. And I think around 1969, it passed. That's if you look at the Gor Mahia, there is around 1969. If you look at that badge of Gor Mahia, there's some years they're telling you when he lived. And when Jaramogi came, Jaramogi was there for 30 good years, 31 good years as the kingpin because he was giving direction to the community, political direction, and
But
also
Miguda, can you just let us know here when you talk about Gor Mahia and Jaramogi, was Gor Mahia political leader?
you understand that when Gor Mahia was living by that time, we had
Mm,
no independence as a country. So
mm,
it was those eras of colonial era whereby you are leading your community to conquer territories.
mm,
So he led the community to conquer territories. So he was the preferred leader by that time who was ensuring that the community were conquering the lands and territories where currently Luos are. So at that colonial era, he led the community to be where they are today. You know, they were chasing away the perceived enemies by that time before we came to the political era or the independence era. So they are a bit distinct. And if you look at Jaramogi, when he came on limelight, there were also some perceived prominent people like Tom Mboya, who was later assassinated, Robert Ouko, who was later assassinated. Those were perceived to be approaching the throne. And even remember the Gor Mahia time, there were those people who were prominent, but they were recorded on the books. I can't remember most of them, but there were people. And even there was a certain person who was killed somewhere. So, in history of the Luo culture, if you go contrary to the perceived king, you can either die politically, the issue of irrelevance, or you can die naturally. Or death can be caused by enemies. Like I've told you, during the Gor Mahia era, there were some people who were trying to approach the throne, but they were killed during the war, and the Gor Mahia remained the leader. So when Jaramogi came, anybody who attempted to come closer to the power, either they died politically, people like Aching Oneko who died politically, or they were killed, like Tomboy was killed, Uko was killed, but other people also just disappeared, and the king remained one. When Raila has been our king for the last 30 years, there are people who have attempted to contest against him, but they have died politically. I can say the people who have died politically. You saw even we buried the other one, Dalma Sotieno. There are people who have tried to come close to this. Even Orengo tried in 2002, but Orengo has remained either you are either aligned or you go political. So you become irrelevant. So what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that Raila ruled for 30 years, Jaramogi 31 years. So before Raila passed away, there was this issue of kingpin, will be the next kingpin. I just want to say that all of you understand what I'm saying. This kingpin position is not elective. This kingpin position, no one will choose now. It is Benson, it is Makobura, it's Mikuda. It first is something that you have to fight for it. You must be perceived to be a brave leader who can lead people to war. All working peace, you must be courageous, and also you must be someone who cannot betray the cause. And you must always represent the will of the people. You must be trusted beyond reasonable doubt. The people must trust you. And it's something that is organic, naturally, the so-called juogi. When juogi falls on you, like I said yesterday, you'll hear people talking. If you go to marketplaces, they will discuss the name. If you go to border stage, they will discuss the name. If you go to bus stage, they will discuss if you go even to school, even the primary school, those young kids in the grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, they will discuss you during break time, during lunch time, evening time. If you go to churches, these local churches, they will discuss you. If you visit the shrines, they will accept you, and people will embrace you even during the Luo tournaments. People just discuss about you because they people discuss about Raila, even in the local radio, and people will love you and people will embrace you. So when you talk about the issue of kingpin, currently I can just say there is no current Luo kingpin for a sure. And even Oburu was very categoric that the next leader is not among Raila peers. The very way Raila was not among Jaramogi's peers. The very way Jaramogi was not among Gormaya peers. The next leader will emerge, but later. People have been having this hurry that the king has been buried. Give us a kingpin. We want to. I remember also in the traditional, no, I don't like using tradition. In the cultural customs of Africans, you find out that whenever there is a kingdom whereby they were practicing hereditary, when a king passed away, when the apparent heir is still young to take up the role, the council of elders will hold in brief until that right time the apparent heir come of age and got married. After having a wife, then they will proceed and coronate the rightful king. Right now, what I can say, in our existing leadership structure in the Luo community, we have a council of elders and we have the care of Luo. The care of Luo is the head of the council of elders, but also we have a political leader, the so-called kingpin. So in case of there is vacancy of the kingpin in the kingdom, the care, they can take in brief as we wait for the rightful heir or the rightful king to emerge. And remember, it is not hereditary. You can emerge, but there are some similarities here. There's also that royal blood whereby Jaramogi was perceived to be king. Raila's got that royal blood. Raila succeeded Jaramogi. Then Raila's kid, even Fidel, was perceived to be the future king. But now that his life was cut short. And then these Raila's children, I, I can say a leader can emerge among them because they have that royal blood. And when you discuss about right now, it is very possible for people to thump their chest, for people to come out, but it's very difficult for people to accept you because there's no way, there's no day Raila say that I'm the Luo kingpin. I must rule the Luo people. After Jaramogi, it is Raila Odinga. I am the kingpin. And anybody who want to come on my way, I will clear you. Because you understand the culture very well. The Juogi fear bloodshed. And if you are fond of killing people, or are you getting me?
Yeah, there's something here that I want to ask you. Even though as you give that history, before I bring in Marco Buddha, I mean, you know, if you look at how the death of Jaramogi Oginga Odinga and even the morning of Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, it's quite much different with what we are seeing in Raila. One, Jaramogi was mourned the day that for, people were given time to mourn Jaramogi. That is one. Secondly, when you come to Raila, first, Raila, his mourning period was very short, according to his will. Secondly, when Raila, now Raila is dead because the issue of succession, especially in the Luo community, it was something that people were conversing as compared to the time of Jaramogi. During the time of Jaramogi, nobody was conversing about who is going to inherit Jaramogi. But the one for Raila was being discussed too. Now, I'm looking at it this way, and this is the question that I'm asking you, especially for those who think, or for those who might be having that, okay, Jogi will come, what they usually say. But you see how the power rests at the gravesite, that everybody still go to Raila's grave. And if today you decide that, okay, I want to be a kingpin, how workable it will be, or how achievable will it be at this particular moment in time?
Okay, I think first the times are different, and Raila died in action. Raila was very active. Raila died in action. Raila died when he was very active politically, and he was in the center of decision making in this country. And as you have stated clearly, that people seems to go to Raila place. That's why I told you, me personally, I'm convinced that the spirit is still at Jaramogi's family, because it could have just shifted automatically until we could have been singing another person. But even as we still, even as they, as they, as they, we keep on waking up in the morning, as day comes, people still refer to Opoda Farm, Kanko Jaramogi, and Raila Odinga. So I just want to also, I just want to heed to the Council of Oburu Odinga that amongst Raila's peers, and the peers here, I mean that among Raila's peers in politics, the people whom he hanged out with, the people whom he have been with for a quite long time, there's no kingpin there.
All right.
All of them will go with him. But the new king, I believe that, me personally, I believe that a new king will come, but not now. Maybe sometimes later. But I believe that there's no way, because even when Jaramogi died, you have heard these songs from Dio Misiani, that when Jaramogi died, Luos were like, we are orphans. But there was a prediction that Raila Odinga one day will lead the Luo people. But remember, that was 1994. Nobody knew that in 2007, Raila will be big than what he was. Nobody knew that in 2007, he will be the prime minister. Nobody knew that in 2013, 17, and 2022, he will contest the presidency of this country. So by that time, it was like, I know he contested in 97 and became number 3. People say, okay, so when will this person emerge? And 2002, he never contested, but make a comeback. So I believe that it is a process, and it needs patience, and the king will just emerge.
All right. Thank you so much. Makobura, I want you also to share with us your view, especially you are looking at the visits that are happening at Kango Kajaramogi, and that is where the center of conversation now is. Majority, even the platform we talk about Raila being, he was powerful when he was alive and still powerful in death. But as these ones are happening, all this visitation, the I delegation of Kalonzo Musyoka, dignitaries going to visit, there's also other part that is played, especially with the party. I would not call it like the family, with the party, whereby the memorial that was being done. One has been done in Homa Bay, the other one was done in Migori. But you find that at the center of it all, people had divided opinion that why would you have this one so soon in a period of weeks, especially to have memorial for the Right Honorable Prime Minister, yet um, people are still in the period of mourning, and you're seeing this delegation and visits of the gravesite. You know,
Uh,
does it mean that there's that competing? There's somebody who is competing for that, want to create that attention and get away with the power, or is just a political as usual? Somebody's trying to create political uh, games.
okay, that question has always been asked, and I remember, I remember the view of the people who are doing it. They said that Raila, as much as he was a leader, a Luo leader,
Mhm.
if I mean he was a kingpin of Luo leader or a Luo leader, his body was not taken to other counties, that is Migori, Homa Bay, and according to them, they're saying that the body was only taken to Kisumu and Siaya, leaving the other two counties. And that is why they were doing that as a way of reminding the people or the locals that truly the kingpin is gone. I remember that is the view that they brought forth. But I think what I can say is that they have that right to do so, based on the fact that, of course, Raila was a darling of the Luo Nyanza counties. And if truly that is the way that they wanted to honor or to accept the fact that he was now gone, then so be it. The only problem that I had or I saw with this particular events is that there are some people that were looking or behaving like they own or they wanted some kind of attention. If this was meant to celebrate a life that was well lived, or if it was meant to remember the fact that Raila was no more, then they needed to have fully focused on that. Diverting the attention would then mean something else. Of course, we understand the king is gone, and the apparent the sons of the king, or those who wants to take the throne, there are so many outside there. So some of them are using these opportunities to, whenever they get this kind of opportunity, they want to be seen, they want to be noticed. They are forgetting the fact that these are not the times to be known or to get the attention of the people. They're getting the fact that it is a position that is given. I mean, that is not given, but it is a position that someone emerges and is accepted by the people. It is not something that you'll go and talk to the people to either give you their votes or to support you or to claim that you are the one who's taking over. No, they have all the opportunities to give signals of the interest that they have, whether they want to be kingpin. But the only challenge or the only problem or the only thing I can say is that this is not the right time. This is not the time that they're supposed to do that. For now, they're supposed to focus on celebrating and acknowledging that the king is gone, and long live the king. I think that is the total view of what I've understood from the planners and the people who participated in
Okay.
this in particular.
All right. Thank you so much, Makobura, for that. And what usually happens is everybody usually have their opinion, especially when such like or when that memorial, especially, were organized both in Migori and um, um, Homa Bay County. But there's some remarks that were made by members of parliament, especially. I don't know whether you had an opportunity to listen to Rangwe members of parliament, Lillian Gogo. We had also Junet Mohammed, we had also Fatuma, a full network from Migori, the kind of remarks. And if when you're doing a memory, let's say that we are doing a memory for somebody, the messaging should be of that of memory. You memorize this person. You talk about good things that this person did. You talk about struggle. It's like you're celebrating this person. So which means the attacks, especially political attacks, were not supposed to be in the place. But they are all politicians. They always know what they want and everything. Despite the fact that it was memorial, but I know Makobura, there was also some political uh, mile steps in it. It was not just pure that because, we know how politics sometimes is. Okay, thank you so much, gentlemen. And maybe if any of you have something to say before we wind up.
Me or Miguda?
Any one of you?
Okay. Yeah, the only worry I still have, and which I'm still bringing forth to the attention of the people of Kenya, is what is going on in the political limelight and how the citizens of the Republic of Kenya are seeing or looking into politics. They should look it with a different angle.
Mm,
And I condemn what is happening in Kasipul, and I still call on the relevant authorities to just perform their duties and to remind the citizens of that particular constituency, not just that, but the entire republic, that politics is there. Do not fight for politician just because of 50 bob. Do not kill fellow just because of 50 bob. People have different views. These politicians, you've seen, I think the life and the death of Raila Amolo Odinga should be a good example to the people of Kenya. You've seen the people that people who fought him, people who took him to detention, people who chased him away. All of them are there, and they're giving a different version of the stories that they had with Raila. Out of politics, they had personal relationship.
mhm.
I think
All
that
right.
should be the best example that I should give. Do
Okay.
not let the citizen think that politics is an enmity kind of thing. Let us unite as a people. Let us bring forth our problems and solve the problems together. Unity is the only way to go.
Okay, Miguda, what about you? What are you saying?
Okay, may I just want to say that we should learn from the elites how they are carrying out their stuffs, that it's never that serious. It's about competition. And after competition, we embrace each other, the winner and the loser, and life goes on. We don't need to come to an essay whereby a life must be lost due to the competition. That one must get into the heart and the minds of the electorate to avoid what we are experiencing. I don't know how much civic education can we give to the people, because even you find that tomorrow some people just even start to fighting against each other. You can tomorrow someone will just turn, or someone will just touch someone. So I don't know how. I don't know how best can we provide civic education to our people so that we can take it the way Elisa have taken it. Okay, that's all I have.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Miguda, for your time. Thank you so much, Mr. Makobura, for your time. We will be here tomorrow too to discuss what we will discuss. Because I remember Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta also today actually requested Jeremiah Kioni, the CJ for Jubilee, not to insult. He doesn't want the politics of insulting or abusing other partners. He would want politics of ideology. He also spoke about giving opportunity for young people to take the seats, and the young people should always seek advice, especially from the old, like fight for those seats. Matiang'i too spoke about it and said that this is the right time for the young people. So the politics is building up, and 2027 the journey has started. So thank you so much, and to our viewers on the comment section, Judith, Brenda, And Laban Misiani, thank you so much for always being here for us. May God bless you all. See you tomorrow, same time, same place.